Hey, what up? What up? What up? What is up, everybody? This is Chris Asbrock here for Backwards K Baseball. I am here to discuss the NCAA Baseball tournament. Field of 64 was announced earlier today. We had some interesting, inclusions and some outrageous and interesting exclusions, to say the least. But regardless, the field of 64 has been announced, and let's be real, we are set for another fun tournament. As you know, the road to Omaha starts now. This weekend we've got the regionals set up this weekend, then followed up with the super regionals, and then we've got the College World Series. What more could you ask for? Right now, at this point in time, it is going to be fun. Starting, we had some, being a local guy here in Cincinnati. If you're watching this, you are watching it on the Impact Sports Cincinnati YouTube channel. So, with that being the case, obviously, we are a local, tri-state area podcast. Obviously, the Backwards K brand. We do national stuff, which you will hear and see us tonight. Myself and Scott Kaiser do return. But in terms of local baseball, here we are. We've got NKU in the tournament. You've got UK, Indiana. Those schools are included. Excluded, Cincinnati, Xavier, Wright State. I mean, it's interesting to say the least. And I think at this point in time, what we're looking at is major props right now to the Northern Kentucky Norse. My NKU Norse, my alma mater, for the first time ever, is in the NCAA tournament after winning the Horizon League Championship. How freaking awesome is that? Such a cool experience. Such a great job by Dizzy Payton and the guys down at NKU, Highland Heights, Kentucky. Count me in, boys. Well done. Awesome. It is just it was so cool to see what the Norse did. I mean, they flat out came out and they tore it up, and they deserved it. To face Wright State, you're down 3 games to win the Horizon League regular season championship. What did they do? They're down 3 games. You sweep Wright State on the road, you win the regular season championship. They take the first 2, unfortunately dropped the 3rd game, but they proved they can beat them. So what did they do in the Horizon League tournament semifinals? Boom. Took care of business against Wright State, thus leading them to take on Youngstown State in the Horizon League Championship, and bam! They hang 23 runs on the final, and they win the Horizon League Championship to make it to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. So great job, Dizzy Payton and those guys. So proud of you guys. I am so jacked. It is awesome. And what do you get? You get a date with Tony Vitello and the top seeded Tennessee Volunteers in the Knoxville Regional. You are also joined by Southern Miss and Indiana. That's a solid regional. Low key, Southern Miss and NKU are 2 teams that I would say are not to be overlooked, but let's be real. This is a regional that is set to be won by Tennessee. That is, that's what we're looking at, plain and simple. But in terms of a team that, that could make some noise, look at Southern Miss and look at NKU. Now, Indiana, they do have some talent, but this is one thing here that I would say right now we're looking at, a Tennessee, regional victory here. But don't look past Southern Miss or NKU. Now, is NKU going to win the regional? Probably not. Are they going to win some games? I think they will. I think they're going to make it difficult for anybody come out of this Knoxville Regional. So the Knoxville Regional is paired with the Greenville Regional that is hosted by the 16th overall seed East Carolina Pirates. Now, East Carolina got a hosting spot. Little stunned, in my opinion, here on that. That they hosted over the likes of a Duke, for example, or an Indiana State. But East Carolina is joined by Evansville, who did win the Missouri Valley Conference. They did knock off Indiana State, Virginia, or VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, and Wake Forest. Let's be real. This is the Wake Forest Regional. Wake Forest is going to win this regional. They have a breadth of talent that is, you are going to see these guys on major league rosters here in the next couple years. This is the Wake Forest Regional. This is you're setting up for a Wake Forest Knoxville Super Regional. Like, this is what Tennessee and Wake in the Super Regionals. Count me in. Chase Burns returning to Knoxville. That's what we're expecting here. I mean, just incredible. I mean, this is, ECU, they were granted the host, but let's be real. Again, this is the Wake Forest Regional. They have enough talent there to take care of business. And that's what I think you're going to see. It's really quick. Let's look over the Lexington region. That is Kentucky, the number one overall, or the number one seed in that region, the number 2 overall seed. Indiana State, the 3 seed, Illinois, and then Western Michigan, as those 4 teams. This is one that's don't look past Indiana State, the Sycamores, battle-tested team all year. UK is a team. This is going to come down to 2 teams. It's going to be the regional final is going to be UK and Indiana State. Plain and simple. It's going to be between these 2 teams. Kentucky plays a great brand of baseball. They're fun to watch. One that you definitely want to watch game in and game out. In terms of, Indiana State, I'm telling you, they're no joke. They're a top, I'm going to say top, I think they were 12 RPI program. They continue to make noise every single season. And don't be surprised if you see a team like Indiana State capture this regional as well. They are matched up with the Corvallis region. Oregon State is the 15th overall seed. They've got UC Irvine, Nichols, and Tulane. Finally, you get to see, Travis Pizzana. He is one of the top players, overall in the draft. Travis Pizzana is one of the top players in this country. He's going to be one to definitely check out. But don't overlook UC Irvine. The Anteaters are they're a wicked team, and they can make some noise as well. So watch this one. This one's going to be an interesting one. You're going to see it come down to Irvine and Oregon State. Oregon State is a team, again, the West Coast teams you don't see much of. Again, it's that East Coast bias that we continue to see year in and year out. And it's not just with baseball. It's with football as well. It's with basketball. It's just habit. Because why? Committee members and even regular fans, East Coast, they go to bed earlier. But nothing beats Pac-12 after dark. You got a chance to see the Pac-12 tournament, the final Pac-12 tournament game, Arizona and USC. That finished well after midnight here on the East Coast. So that sucks because it's something we didn't get a chance to see these guys, week in and week out. I've watched Santa Barbara. I've watched Irvine. I've watched Fullerton. I just love West Coast baseball. Is so much fun to watch. I've watched Portland. Oregon State I have seen. So it's one thing I would encourage you guys, if you're watching, to make sure you get on and check it out because it is a lot of fun to see. But that is one thing that is, to see a player like a Travis Pizzana is, definitely worth it because he's going to be a top pick in this draft coming up. He could go 1-1. He's hands down a top 10 pick. He's going to go in the top 10. He might go top 5. Like I said, he might be a 1-1. Travis Bazzana is hands down one of the best players in the country, and one to definitely keep an eye on. Basically in this tournament. Another one to watch out for is the 4-seed Tulane. Tulane made the NCAA tournament last year after stunningly winning the AAC tournament, and they were, I want to say they had like 14 wins last year. They were like 14-40 or something like that. Something crazy. Won the AAC tournament, and boom, there they are in the NCAA tournament. Stunning. This year, they go out there and they tear it up in the AAC, and they won the conference tournament as well. Back-to-back conference champions, conference tournament champions, that is. So watch out for the Tulane Green Wave, who have one of the best logos in all of college baseball, and their uniforms are nasty as well. So, that's a team not to overlook. But to me, this is, like I said, this is going to come down to the 1 and 2 seeds, Irvine and Oregon State. Don't be surprised if Irvine comes out of it. The Anteaters are a legit ball club out of the Big West. So that's a definite team to keep an eye on as well. Let's head to the third set of regionals here. That is College Station. That is Texas A&M. They are matched up against the Santa Barbara region. That's UC Santa Barbara. So College Station, we've got Texas A&M. You've got the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. They are the number 2 seed. Texas comes in at the number 3 seed, and Grambling comes in as the number 4 seed. So Texas A&M all year has been one of the top teams in the country. Another SEC team. SEC teams here in the first 3 so far. This is one that's going to be. This is going to be an interesting one as well. Do not sleep on the Raging Cajuns. They are a tough ball club. They are one to watch as well. But again, don't overlook Texas. The Longhorns continue to, they play good baseball when it matters most. They did get knocked out of the Big 12 tournament by UC, the Cincinnati Bearcats. Their final Big 12 game, the Bearcats did knock them off in impressive fashion. But again, overall, Texas they've got the potential to make some noise as well. When it comes to tournament time, don't overlook the Longhorns. But overall, I think this is pretty set to see Texas A&M make it out of it. Now let's move over to the Santa Barbara region, the region that they are matched with. UC Santa Barbara, San Diego, Oregon, and Fresno State. Fresno State, the 4 seed, they did win the Mountain West. San Diego is the number 2 seed, with Oregon out of the Pac-12 as the number 3 seed. Santa Barbara is one of my teams that I picked in my Omaha 8 at the beginning of the season. Santa Barbara, they've got the pitching staff to do it. Santa Barbara, they continue to do it. They will make it all the way to Omaha. That's how good this pitching staff is. Finally, they get to host a regional, which is awesome. Finally, it is it's at Santa Barbara. They had some issues with starting the season on the road due to some legality crap in terms of getting their field renovated. It was approved, and then it was, there were some regulations or whatever through the California government or the Santa Barbara government, crap like that really threw it off. But the Gauchos, they get to host. So again, don't be surprised if you see Santa Barbara makes it all the way to Omaha, because again, their pitching staff is legit. They have an Omaha staff. They are good. So again, do not be surprised if they come out of that regional and then knock off Texas A&M in the super regionals. That's how good they are. So again, don't be surprised to see something like that happen. Again, this is a good matchup here. The green or this Santa Barbara regional along with College Station. That's a great regional matchup in terms of the super regionals and how these two teams will match up. Excited to see what comes out of that. The next set of regionals, the Chapel Hill region, North Carolina, the number 4 overall seed. They've got a tough one. LSU, who was set to, let's be real, right at the beginning of it, I didn't think they were going to make it. LSU played their way into it. The defending national champions, when it comes to tournament time, my God, they did it. They took on all newcomers. They took on all comers, I should say, and rode all the way to the SEC final, where they lost to Tennessee. But again, incredible stuff from LSU. Now they get rewarded as a number 2 seed overall, and they get to head to Chapel Hill, where the North Carolina Tar Heels, who've shown as this year's played out, that they are one of the top teams in the country, and they showed it again. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on. So that's interesting to see how this regional plays out with North Carolina, the young pitching staff. They've got some studs. They're young. The pitching staff is young, so that's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, LSU super battle tested. Wofford and Long Island, they're just along for the ride. They might win a game, but that's going to be it. It's going to come down to North Carolina and LSU. And as a fan of North Carolina, it's going to be difficult for them, just because of the way LSU's played as of late. They've turned it on at the right time, and they played their way into the NCAA tournament. They are matched up with the Tucson Regional, the Pac-12 champions, the Arizona Wildcats, the number 13 overall national seed, get Dalbap, West Virginia, and Grand Canyon. So this is a pretty intriguing regional as well. You've got Arizona, like I said, who won the Pac-12, the final Pac-12 conference championship before they head on over to the Big 12 next year. Dallas Baptist is Dallas Baptist. They are consistently good each and every year. You know what you're going to get from them. You've got West Virginia and J.J. Weatherholt, who is set to be a top pick in this draft as well. Weatherholt, who is coming off the hamstring injury, he's going to be one to keep an eye on his health. Duke can take over a game, and he can certainly make things happen. So that's going to be one to watch. And Grand Canyon, the Lopes, it's going to be fun to watch them as well. This is a regional that is certainly up for grabs. I'm going to say any one of these 4 could win it, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. That's how good this regional is. I think Dallas Baptist has shown over, throughout this season that they are one of the top teams. And Grand Canyon, of course, is one of those teams that you do not want to overlook as well. And, they consistently show, how good they are. And again, West Virginia, again, don't sleep on them either. So they are some to watch, as well as, as we move forward, in this regional here. So let's head to the Fayetteville region. That is Arkansas, Louisiana Tech, Kansas State, and SEMO, Southeast Missouri State. Arkansas, this is their regional. Arkansas, throughout the year, number 1 team. They kind of flip-flopped with Wake Forest and A&M, and they've been around the top 5 the entire season. Hagen Smith is the guy, and that's just that's what you have to expect out of this one. This is going to be Arkansas's region to lose, as they are hands down the top team in this regional. So this is one to watch for. They're matched up with the Charlottesville regional. The Virginia Cavaliers, the 12th overall seed, with Mississippi State, St. John's, and the Penn Quakers out of the Ivy League. Virginia, they are a consistent team each and every year that you know what you're going to get. They're going to be a regional team. They're going to be a super regional team. with the chance to make it to Omaha each and every year. That's how good they are. They've got a great offense this year. You know, it's Virginia. You know, very chalky on that one. It is Virginia. It's plain and simple. The Cavaliers can get it done. They've got an interesting matchup in this region with Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, and St. John's. Now, I saw St. John's firsthand in the Big East final over at Prasco Park, which is one of the uh, top ballparks in this country. Like this is it's a small, small ballpark here in the Cincinnati area. It's awesome, and getting a chance to watch the Big East final with Georgetown, like I said, and St. John's, a lot of fun. Like I said, a phenomenal venue. Watched numerous high school games there. I've been part of high school games there. Coaching and everything like that. So, one of my favorite places to check out a game, and it was, so getting a chance to watch St. John's capture the Big East championship was pretty legit. A lot of fun to watch. They are, they're fun. This is one that this regional is going to be. It's going to be one to keep an eye on, simply because if you catch Virginia on a bad day, you got a team like Mississippi State that can put up runs, just like that. They they catch them on a good day there. We'll see. But again, I think this is regional here. That's if it goes the way of the Cavaliers, it wouldn't surprise me just because, again, it is the tournament time, and that's just what Virginia does. So this is definitely one to watch, as we move forward. And again, matched up with the Fayetteville regional is awesome because that just is, set to be, pretty interesting. The number 6 overall seed, the Clemson regional. Clemson Tigers, one of the top teams in the ACC all year. They've got Vandy, Coastal Carolina, and High Point. This is an interesting one. Coastal Carolina with Matt Hogue, who is the chairman of the selection committee, the AD at Coastal. A lot of eyebrow raising on that, but Coastal has been one of the teams that has been top 25 all year. I've got no problems in them making it. This was a difficult time for them, especially right down towards the end of the year. They didn't play well, so they end up getting bounced early on in the Sun Belt Conference Championship or Sun Belt Conference Tournament. They just didn't play well, and they left in the hands of the committee. Now, having the committee chair being, from Coastal, now obviously the committee has to remove themselves when their team is being discussed. So, that obviously was the case here in this situation. But to me, Coastal did deserve to be in just based off their resume all year. Again, they are a team that has been, through the ringer all season, top 25 all year. I get them being in. So that is one that I do see. And I have no problems with them making in. Vanderbilt, they played their way into the tournament as well. Number 2 seed, they got hot late. And they made it. Taking on the 4 seed, Clemson taking on the 4 seed High Point. High Point is the team that is going to be, they've got some motivation here in this one. You've got some big name teams here. Again, in Coastal, who won a national championship in the last 10 years. You've got, like I said, you've got Vanderbilt, who is, Vandy, and you've got Clemson in this one. This is going to be a fun regional to watch because to see how it plays out, in the first 2 games. The Clemson, High Point, and Vanderbilt and Coastal. Depending on how these play out, it's going to really show what we're going to see here coming up in the last, as this regional plays out, what we're looking at. Because, like I said, this can go many different ways. Clemson has been a top team, like I said, all season. So it's going to be intriguing to see how this does play out as we move forward, this year. They are matched up with the Stillwater Regional. The Oklahoma State Cowboys are the number 11 overall seed. They face off. They face off against Nebraska, Florida, and Niagara. Florida got in as the number 3 seed. Niagara is the 4 seed overall, with Nebraska heading down as the number 2 seed in this regional. Oklahoma State is one of the top teams in the country. They played phenomenal, rolling their way through the Big 12 tournament and capturing the Big 12 tournament championship. They deserve to be a host. Stillwater at O'Brates Stadium is awesome. This is, it's going to be a fun one to watch, but watch for Oklahoma State to come out of it. The thing is, you've got Nebraska, they've got a top pitching staff as well. Florida, who has been so incredibly inconsistent all year, they've not been good. The only reason they made it in is because they've got a member on the committee. Plain and simple. Did they deserve to be in? I don't think so. Am I happy they're in? Yes, because we get to see more Jack Caglione. Jackie Cags is going to be a top 10 pick in this draft, a top 5 pick in my mock draft that I'm working on for the website. I've got Jack Tani, as he is also affectionately known. I've got him mocked second to the Reds, which would be awesome here in Cincinnati. If you haven't had a chance to watch Jack play, do mashes, and he also deals. So that's something to watch as well. When is he going to throw? He's always been their Sunday guy. Do they throw him early? What do they do? Because again, you're facing Nebraska, who has a legit pitching staff who can easily knock you off in game 1, which could really set things up. And do you throw them? Say you lose that first game, do you throw them in the second game against either Oklahoma State or Niagara? It's going to be intriguing to see how that plays out. But this is a regional that I say, with it being at Oklahoma State, don't be surprised to see Oklahoma State come through and come away with the victory out of it. It's just because it's set up for an Oklahoma State victory here. I would love to see Oklahoma State make it to the Super Regionals, which would be awesome. Let's go to the next group. The Athens region is set up against the Raleigh region. So that is Georgia, UNC Wilmington, Georgia Tech, and Army out of the Athens region. Charlie Condon, boom. What more can you say? This was a regional that kind of seemed lazy to me being put together. Why you throw Georgia Tech in there earlier? Georgia Tech got throttled by Georgia earlier this season. Why throw them back in there? I don't understand it. UNC Wilmington, the Seahawks. This is going to be fun to see them, see what they can do. This is going to be one that you're going to see with these offenses. Let's be real. This is a regional that is set to see a lot of runs scored and a lot of home runs hit. That's what this is it's what this one's going to be like. You're going to see a lot coming out of it. Charlie Condon's the guy. Charlie Condon set he broke the record for home runs in the BB Core era. Dude's going to rake. Like I said, there are some guys in this regional here that are going to hit. So let's move forward here and kind of get this wrapped up. The Raleigh region, that is North Carolina State, who turned up right towards the end of the year. They are the number 10 overall seed, taking on South Carolina, James Madison, and Bryant. North Carolina State, like I said, turned it on right at the end of the year, right at the perfect time. Don't be surprised to see North Carolina State come out of this. James Madison was a bubble team. They made it in. So, they were gifted the spot there over a team like a College of Charleston. But don't be surprised if this is a chalk Georgia, North Carolina super regional here. And let's bring it up here. The last two regionals, between the number 8 overall seed and the number 9 overall seed. It's the Tallahassee regional with Florida State, Alabama, UCF, and Stetson taking on the Oklahoma regional, which is in Norman, which is Oklahoma, Duke, UConn, and Oral Roberts. Florida State didn't make the tournament last year. It's going to be great seeing them. College baseball fans growing up, you've seen Florida State in this tournament each and every year. So that's definitely something to, a little nostalgia there. It's kind of nice to see Link Jarrett and see what he's done with this Seminoles ball club as they take on Alabama, who's a solid team, UCF out of the Big 12, and Stetson. This is going to be fun. Again, a regional in Tallahassee. Count me in. Always fun to watch. Again, matched up against the Norman Regional, which is, like I said, Oklahoma, Duke, Connecticut, and Oral Roberts. Let's be real. This one's Duke's to win. Oklahoma's a great team. They won the regular season championship in the Big 12. They got stuck with Duke. Duke should be a host, plain and simple. Should be a host. Duke got screwed, and if you watch the selection show, they just, they didn't look too thrilled out of it all. I can't say I don't blame them. They were robbed out of it. Those were announced last night, so those guys. I'm honestly surprised that they even had a video feed there, in Durham, because like I said, those guys, they have every single right in the world to be pissed, and they should be. Like I said, they should be a host. Now they're going to come in pissed off as the number 2 seed, and unfortunately for Oklahoma, they've got to deal with that. Highly unfair to them. But again, why East Carolina is a host and Duke isn't? I just, to me, flip flop them. I mean, if that's what you want, then by God, do it. Just not a fan of it at all. I just think Duke got screwed, and I think they're going to come out and they're going to show that they should have been a host, because they're going to be pretty pissed, and then they're going to go into Florida State and beat them like they did in the ACC championship. They beat the brakes off of Florida State in the ACC championship game yesterday. So don't be surprised to see it happen again, just because, again, you're facing a really pissed off Duke team. So don't be surprised there. In terms of, let me get back here to the selection committee. Last four teams that were in were Coastal Carolina, Indiana, James Madison, and UCF. So Coastal, again, I was okay with, because throughout the entire season, they were a top 25 team. I get it. They did not play well down the stretch. But I think overall their body of work, I think, said, allowed them to make it in. Indiana, I don't think the Big Ten was deserving of too many. I just, Indiana was a team that they were part of my Omaha 8 early on. I think Indiana is a good ball club. Making it in over the likes of a College of Charleston, for example, or TCU, I don't know. I don't get it. James Madison, they had an RPI of 44, KPI of 42. I don't know. I mean, good for them. Bulldogs are in. Like I said, yeah, good on them. I don't know. Again, to leave teams like TCU and College of Charleston out, it's a tough look, in my opinion. In UCF, Big 12, I think overall, TCU and Cincinnati, in terms of last four out, it was California, College of Charleston, Cincinnati, and TCU. Those were the last 4 teams out. UC, Cincinnati, Jordan Bishel done a phenomenal job here in Cincinnati. I'm telling you right now, this was a home run hire to bring Jordan Bishel in from Central Michigan. And look at what he's done already. This team is only going to continue to get better as we move forward. They swept TCU earlier this year. They had series wins over Kansas, UCF. They did lose to UCF in the conference tournament, But again, overall, man, UC I think would have been the last, of those 4 teams to make it in. But to let out Cal, to let out College of Charleston, and TCU. College of Charleston has every single right in the world to be ticked off and pissed off that they got screwed, because they did. Because a team like Florida makes it in, I don't like that. To me, Florida should have been a last 4 in, but to say that they made it in comfortably, I don't get it. I don't understand that part. And that just shows, I think the issue I have with this is the fact that it was a blatant bias on these committee team or the committee members' part. It was blatant, and that's a shame, because, and I've heard it on, I want to say Jack DeLongchamp from 11.7 was saying, these people ended the careers of numerous baseball players. And you're going to have, each and every year, you're going to have teams that get screwed. I get it. But this was a blatantly obvious year to see it happen. And I think that's the most frustrating part of it all, is to see a team like a Florida make it in over a team like a College of Charleston or a TCU. Again, even Indiana. I'm sorry. Now, Coastal Carolina, I get. Again, just their body of work throughout the entire season. Yeah, down the stretch, they didn't play well. I get it. I totally understand that, and that makes all the sense in the world. But overall, I'm okay with Coastal getting in. Florida, I don't like. Indiana, I don't like. UCF, nah. Teams like College of Charleston and TCU have every right to be pissed off. So that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Backwards K baseball, I guess, podcast here. Excuse me. Stay tuned, because tonight we will be back. Myself and Scott Kaiser will be back for the first time in a couple weeks, where we are going to talk all things baseball. So make sure you stay tuned. That will be live tonight at 8 p.m. Like I said, myself and Scott Kaiser. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much. And stay tuned, because I'm set to go on vacation here at the end of the week. If I can make it to a regional, I'm going to try. We'll be down in the South Carolina area, so maybe shooting over to either the Clemson regional or the East Carolina regional would be pretty sick if I can pull that off. So, but overall, stay tuned, as I will be posting up some content for that. So make sure you stay tuned. But overall, again, thank you guys so much, and have yourselves a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. And again, Memorial Day, thank you for all that have served and gave the ultimate sacrifice. Because without you and your sacrifice, we wouldn't be able to have great stuff like what we've been able to enjoy. It's not just about a cookout, folks. Again, honoring the men and women who gave it all. So for that, thank you. Again, without you guys, this isn't the greatest country in the world. So thank you so much, and have yourselves a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. Take care, everybody.